హార్దిక్ నాకు ఒక ఫోన్ ఇయ్యనా హార్దిక్.
Yes, I muted everyone because there's some background noise. If you have any queries, if you want to speak, please unmute yourself. Okay. So please use long press the space bar on your keyboard if you want to speak. Temporarily unmute. Please use the space bar. Long press and hold the space bar. Understood, guys? Yeah. So in the last 2 months, I completed LoadRunner for your batch, LoadRunner, and like we covered Fiddler developer tools extensively, isn't it? So, and I covered like server side monitoring, what are the metrics we need to monitor, right? And monitoring tool like Java Melody and all, right? And analysis component and how to filter the results in LoadRunner, how to prepare a high level report, detailed report and effort estimates, and what are the scripting challenges, right? And I covered this noise generator, right? So, and all these in the last 2 months, right? Now I am going to start JMeter. So today I want to give an introduction to JMeter, and then tomorrow's session we will we'll see, like I will cover how to set up this JMeter and how to do scripting with JMeter. Okay. All right. So these are the course content for JMeter. So this SDLC, web application and their evaluation. So all these are covered in performance testing fundamentals, isn't it? SDLC in the last 2 weeks for new joinees also, I covered this in the evening batch, right? I have some new participants who joined for JMeter, right?
Yes,
so I covered these in the last 2 weeks in the evening sessions. Performance testing fundamentals are covered, right? All these, like SDLC, 2-tier, 3-tier architecture, right? HTTP response, ports request response cycle. What is performance testing, importance of performance testing life cycle. All these are covered in the last two weeks in the evening batch. Clear, guys? Or is there anyone who joined just from today? All right. So I'll share the course contents if someone don't have it and join newly. Right. So in this session, I'm going to give an introduction to JMeter and what are the open source tools. What are the other open source tools, performance testing tools in the market, and why JMeter, and what are the pros and cons of JMeter, right? Why JMeter is so popular as an open source tool. JMeter is the most popular open source tool, right, for performance testing. And what are the pros and cons of JMeter, and how does JMeter perform load testing? So I'll try to cover these concepts today. Let me, and these are the course contents, and these are the links to each of the slide deck. Now I'll go directly to introduction to JMeter page. Okay. So before that, let me give some overview of JMeter training, right? So once we complete scripting, right, with JMeter, I will, each one of you should be doing JMeter Pro certification with JMeter 5.4.3. This is the latest version of JMeter. So 1 second. So can everyone please go do a Google search for Apache JMeter. Apache JMeter download. Can everyone please do this, guys? And are you on with this? Are you on the same page as me? Click on the first link, download JMeter, Apache JMeter. Guys, please respond. Am I audible, guys?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So this is the latest version of JMeter. Are you on this page? Is everyone on the same page?
Yes, sir.
Right. Now
Yes, sir.
click on this under binaries, right? Select this zip file Apache JMeter 5.4.3.zip. Click on that link to download the latest version of JMeter under binaries. Okay. While the download is happening, please now focus on the session. So once we complete JMeter scripting, right? So you have to do JMeter certification, and there is no cost involved in here. You can do a free certification on JMeter with from BlazeMeter University. Okay. I will guide you or help you to clear this JMeter Intro and JMeter Pro certification free of cost. Everyone should be certified. Almost in all my previous batches, more than 70% are certified in JMeter. Clear, guys?
Yes, sir.
And these I already covered in the demo sessions. In the previous sessions, I already covered who all are the ideal participants, what are the average packages that you can expect in performance testing career, and all this I already explained. And I also explained these, I also explained course contents previously, and performance testing and engineering tools I already explained in the previous sessions. We also covered this know your computer basics, a few basic computer basics in the previous sessions. Now let me give an introduction to JMeter. Okay. So JMeter is the only open source tools that can be used for. So JMeter is an only open source tool in the market that can be used for both performance testing and as well as functional testing. Right? It is the only open source tool that can be used for both performance testing and functional testing. It is completely free of cost. You remember, like when you downloaded LoadRunner, right? So you are able to download trial version, isn't it? And what is the limitation that trial version has? Trial version has some limitation, right? Those who completed LoadRunner.
50 users, sir.
50
Yeah. Right. We can execute a test with only 50 users, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Right? Because it is a licensed tool. So, and trial version comes with only 50 user license. We cannot execute with a test with more than 50 users when you are using a trial version. JMeter is a completely open source tool, right? So with zero license cost. So you can execute, test with any number of users. Of course, JMeter also has some limitations, right? We'll discuss that. But, like there is no 50 user limit here. You can execute, if you're depending on your hardware, right? Depending on your laptop or a desktop. So you can execute like 2000 or 3000 or 5000 users, depending on your laptop, system configuration is, by the way. And if you have more than one machine, you can execute a load test with thousands of users, because without purchasing any license, because it is an open source tool and it doesn't carry any license cost. It has zero license cost. Clear, guys?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Right?
sir.
And it is platform independent. Platform independence means and how JMeter is platform independent is, it is a Java application. JMeter itself is developed using Java language. That's why your JMeter works on any operating system. See, this is another limitation with LoadRunner, right? So if you cannot install LoadRunner on a Mac operating system, Macintosh operating system, means you can't install directly on a MacBook Pro. You can't install LoadRunner on a MacBook Pro directly.
So what is platform independent?
That's what I am explaining. That is what I am explaining. LoadRunner VUgen component cannot be installed on a Macintosh operating system or a MacBook Pro. Right? You cannot install LoadRunner VUgen on a Apple laptop. Okay. Or you cannot install see, Linux, you have most of the Linux flavors are GUI command prompt based. Right? They don't have a GUI. They will not have a GUI, right? So you can't install LoadRunner VUgen on any operating system. Clear, guys?
Yes.
However, JMeter is a Java application and it works on any operating system. Understood? JMeter being Java application, it is platform independent, means the same JMeter can be installed on any operating system and it works on any operating system. Clear, guys? That is platform independence. That's what I mean to say when I say JMeter is platform independent. Clear, guys?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
And
sir.
how it achieved platform independency is, how was it able to run on any operating system is, it is a JMeter itself is developed in using Java, right? So if you want to run JMeter, right, you should have Java installed on your machine if you want to use JMeter. That is the reason, if you observe here, see here, it requires, this particular version of JMeter requires Java 8+. We need to install Java as a mandatory thing if you want to use JMeter on your machine. Understood or no? If you want to set up JMeter and use JMeter on your machine, first you need to have Java installed on your machine. Understood or no, guys?
Yes, sir.
Right? And for this version, 5.4.3 version of JMeter, you require Java 8 plus. 8 plus means 8 or higher version. 8 plus, that's what 8 plus means, Java 8 plus means. Right? If you have Java 7, right, you cannot run this 5.4.3. That's what it means. If you have Java 7 version. And how to check Java, how to check if you have Java installed on your machine or not? Type cmd to launch this command prompt and use this command Java space - version. Can everyone please do this on your machine? You have to share your screen and show that, guys. Please do this along with me. Whatever I am asking you to do along with me, please do this. Do that along with me. Please don't join from mobile going forward, okay? I'll ask you to share your screen going forward. You should not, please don't join using mobile. Please join using your laptop or desktop only. Fine. So this is how we can check, whether we have Java installed on your machine or not. And what is the Java version that we have on our machine. If you type Java space -version, right? So observe here, it is showing Java version as 1.8.0.311. So this is Java 8 plus. Actually, see, this 1.8 represents Java 8. Clear, guys?
Yes.
Sorry, laptop install చేసుకోవాలి sir.
You need to install Java on your machine. Yes. If you don't have Java installed on your machine, so can you open a Google search page and type Java 64-bit. Java 64-bit download. Can you please do this, guys? Those who don't have Java installed on your machine. Guys, please don't ping me later in WhatsApp, or please don't call me. All right. So you have to do it along with in the session itself. Okay. So if you have some installations and all, JMeter setup and all, please do that in the session itself. Please don't call me after the session. If you have any issues, if you are facing any issues, please ping it in the Zoom chat. Okay. So that, we have one more trainer, right, in the WhatsApp group. He will be able to help you. Understood, guys? I want to set the right expectations. Please don't ping me or please don't call me after, after the session. Right? If you have any queries, you should ping in the WhatsApp group. That's it. Right? And if I am free, I will help you. Otherwise, the other trainer will help you. Yeah, Santosh, you have Java 1.8.321. Yes, that is Java 8. Right. So those who don't have Java installed on your machine, Google search for Java 64-bit download. Click on this Java downloads for all operating system. Right. And go to this, you can use either of these links. Click on this Windows Offline 64-bit. Click on this link, Windows Offline 64-bit. Able to follow, guys? This one, Windows Offline 64-bit. Click on that and you will install. Can one of you share your screen? Those who are not having Java installed on your machine, can you please share your screen so that it will be helpful for everyone. Yeah, thanks, Supriya. Yeah, click on that link. Okay, you already downloaded, right? So once you click on that link, right, so you have Java downloaded, right? So can you please give me control, Supriya? Yeah, I got the control. Now let me go to downloads folder. Go to downloads folder, and here it is, right? Click on this show in folder. You downloaded twice, you downloaded twice. Of course, okay. Previously you downloaded some time back. That's why it is showing number 2 here. Understood? Understood, Supriya? Did you check whether you have Java installed on your machine or no? Right. So if you don't have Java installed on your machine, you will see the output like this. Java is not recognized as an internal or external command. Right? If you don't have Java installed on your machine, guys, you will see the output like this. Clear, guys? Yes, are you with me?
Yes, sir.
You will see a message like this. Java is, if you don't have Java installed on your machine. Now let's install this Java on this machine. Okay, double click that exe file, whatever that that was downloaded just now. Okay, wait, Supriya, I took control. Please let me do that. And you might have got a notification. Observe that, like, do you want to allow this program, or else, please, yeah. Okay. So once you double click that, right? So you get this window, welcome to Java, right? Click on this install. Click on this install button. Now Java is being installed, guys, on your machine, on Supriya's machine. So those who don't have is anyone facing any issue in downloading this? Please let me know. Please do that, guys, along with us. Okay. Did anyone join from mobile today by any chance? Right. So now you can see that, you can see a confirmation window saying that you have successfully installed Java, right? And close this. Click on that close button. Yeah. Okay. Now, did you download JMeter also, Supriya? Okay. Now, can you do a Google search for Apache JMeter download Apache JMeter. Okay, everyone, please do that, guys. Download Apache JMeter. Click on the first link, download Apache JMeter link, and under binaries, download this zip file, Apache JMeter 5.4.3.zip. Okay, so I'll come back to your screen, Supriya. So I'm stopping your screen share. Okay, let me go back to the introduction. While it is downloading, right? We'll discuss, we'll have some JMeter introduction, right? Now, so JMeter supports record and playback feature. It supports record and playback feature, just like any other most of the performance testing tools. JMeter also supports record and playback with drag and drop feature. So we'll discuss what is this drag and drop feature going forward. JMeter provides record and playback. You remember, right? So in LoadRunner also we recorded the script and we have an option to playback the script in VUgen, isn't it? So JMeter supports record and playback, right? We'll see that what is the record and playback in the next session. Those who join directly JMeter, right? So you'll see that, like what is this record and playback feature, and it supports distributed load testing. So I'll explain this later. What is distributed load testing? It's too early to explain this now, right? So for now, remember that it supports distributed load testing, and JMeter is open source, and hence developers can customize its source code. JMeter is completely customizable. So we can customize JMeter tool as per our requirement. Because it is open source tool, we can modify or we can update or we can modify the source code and we can make it customizable. Understood, guys? And JMeter supports multiple protocols like HTTP, FTP, SOAP, JDBC, JMS, LDAP. There are few other protocols that JMeter started supporting. It supports almost 10 plus protocols now. Okay. And it can also be used for testing database performance. How many protocols does LoadRunner support, guys? Those who completed LoadRunner?
30, sir.
31, sir. Total.
30 plus protocols, right? It supports 30 plus protocols. By the way, LoadRunner released a new version last month. LoadRunner 2022 version was released last month, guys. Around March 17th or 18th. A new version of LoadRunner was released. Okay. Okay, coming back to this. So JMeter supports 10 plus protocols. So it has a limitation. JMeter has a limitation on number of protocols that it can support. Understood, guys? Has someone joined with display name as iPhone? May know who is this? Please don't join from mobile going forward. Okay. Has someone joined with display name as iPhone? May know who is this? Please unmute. You are on mute if you are speaking.
సార్ ఇది సార్ యూజర్ నేమ్ పాస్వర్డ్ అడుగుతుంది సార్.
Which one?
ఇది ఉంది జావా 64 bit.
Username password.
To continue, enter an admin user.
We'll see that after the session. We'll see that. May know who is this? Vijay.
Okay.
Vijay,
Vijay,
please wait for some time. So we'll see that. In the last 10 minutes, I'll look into them. Okay. Next, what are the types of applications that can be supported with JMeter? Is websites which are developed using HTTP and HTTPS. What are these HTTP and HTTPS guys? HTTP and HTTPS protocols, right? So what is meant by protocol? One second, I want from new joiners.
communication between server.
Please wait. I want from those who joined newly from JMeter. Okay. So Srikanth, what is meant by protocol? Srikanth, you are on mute if you are speaking, Srikanth. Protocol is the, yeah. Can you please repeat that, Bhargav? What is meant by protocol?
Communicating the information between the client and server.
Communication language between browser and server, or the set of rules for communication between browser and server. Guys, you are already you entered 3rd week of the training. Okay, you should respond. Understand? So please go through the demo sessions one more time if you are forgetting the topics or forgetting the concepts.
Okay.
Right? And it supports, what are the other types of applications supported by JMeter is web services, REST and SOAP. Right? I'll explain what is a web service, what is REST and SOAP in the coming up sessions once we complete web protocol. And it can be used for testing database servers. We can do database testing, right? Database performance testing. So which we discussed here, testing database performance, isn't it? So, and FTP servers. So it can be used for, JMeter can be used to test FTP servers. Okay. And LDAP servers and mail servers like SMTP, POP3 and IMAP and shell scripts and TCP servers, right? And so on, right? So these are the different types of applications that can be tested with the JMeter. Okay. Next, JMeter pros and cons means
Advantages and
disadvantages, right? So JMeter is the leading open source tool built in Java for load and performance testing. It is not a browser. JMeter is not a browser, although it simulates some of the browser's behavior. So we'll understand how does it simulate the browser behavior in the coming up session. In the next 1 week, we will explore that, right? And JMeter does not execute JavaScript, Ajax, and CSS. Need some additional settings to behave like a real browser. So we have some, if you want to make JMeter to behave like a real browser, we need to use something called a Selenium WebDriver. I'll discuss that in the last 1 week of JMeter training. I will cover that in the last 1 week of the JMeter training. For now, remember that let's understand what are the advantages and disadvantages of JMeter. Okay. Advantages and what are the advantages of JMeter, right? First and foremost one is it's an open source tool, right? And it's platform independent, means the same JMeter, you can downloaded JMeter, right? All of you downloaded JMeter, right? You can use the same JMeter on on Linux box or a Mac OS also. You can use it on any operating system, right? Our JMeter supports any operating system when you say platform independent. Clear, guys? Of course, the commands varies how to download. So I have listed out how to set up JMeter on a MacBook or a Macintosh operating system in one of the next slides. The process changes over here, right? Okay. So these are the steps to set up JMeter on a Mac OS. Understood, guys? I'll come to that. However, so you can run JMeter on any operating system. That is what, this platform independent feature means that is one of the biggest advantage of JMeter, and easy to enhance the feature by simply adding jar files. We can enhance the JMeter features by simply adding jar files, and lightweight and easy to install and upgrade. It's lightweight and easy to install and upgrade, and flexibility, just because we are able to customize it, right? That is flexibility. That is the flexibility with JMeter. We can customize JMeter as per our requirement. Okay, and now let's understand what are the limitations or disadvantages of JMeter. Or I don't say disadvantages, I can say limitations. Probably that is the better term. Limitations is the better term. Right? Now, what are those limitations? Limited protocol support compared to low license tools, isn't it? So LoadRunner supports 30 plus protocols, whereas JMeter supports only 10 plus protocols. So it has limited protocol support compared to license tools. And high memory consumption, this is one limitation, or one, we can call this as disadvantage. So high memory consumption is one limitation or disadvantage with JMeter. It consumes high CPU, high memory consumption, and heap memory issue is common while running a distributed scenario on a single machine. I will try to reproduce some heap memory issues with JMeter, and then you will understand, right? Next, okay. So Santosh is asking about these jar files. So what is meant by these jar files, right? So we can download some plugins. We can download some plugins, or we can enhance JMeter by adding some plugins to JMeter, right? We will come across that, and you will explore that. You will learn that how to enhance the features by adding the jar files, right? Don't worry for now, right? So you'll see that we definitely come across that. And the next one is, next limitation is good tool for one second. Good tool for testing web applications only, but not a desktop applications. It's a very good tool for testing web applications. JMeter is good tool for testing web applications. Right, for desktop applications, it has some limitations. Okay, dependent, and next one is dependency on Bean Shell and Perl for complex scripting. If we want to write some custom code, we need to depend on Bean Shell and Perl for complex scripting. And JMeter report having less features, which make analysis a bit difficult. Those who completed LoadRunner, right, you saw how powerful the analysis component is, and how can we use that analysis component to filter the results, to compare results, and all this, right? So however, with JMeter, right, JMeter report, default report has less features, which make analysis a bit difficult. Okay, and one more thing I explained is like those who completed LoadRunner, right, or those who are aware of LoadRunner, they will have some support team, or any license tool, any other license tool, right? If you are facing some tool issues or something, right, you can raise a support ticket with the team, and you can get a help from that support team. However, for JMeter, we don't have any dedicated support team. So if you have some issues, like we have to rely on Google search, right? On search engines like Google search, and some may be using Bing and Yahoo search engine, right? So you only like you have to rely back or fall back on search engines and platforms, various platforms like Stack Overflow and all this. That's it. We don't have a dedicated support team for JMeter. Clear case, able to understand? The next limitation is can't run test executions in GUI mode. Another bigger limitation is, one of biggest limitation is, we can't run the JMeter test executions in GUI mode, right? So though see, all other license tool, we can run the test in GUI mode, yes or no? Those who completed LoadRunner case.
Yes, sir.
Right. So what is meant by GUI mode? Graphical user interface mode. So this is GUI, right? For Vusion, this is GUI for controller. We executed test in GUI mode, yes or no? You understood that statement or no?
Yes, sir.
Right. So this is GUI, graphical user interface. So we created the scenario in GUI mode, and we ran the test in GUI mode. Yes or no? Right. Now with JMeter, right? So one biggest limitation with JMeter is we cannot run the test in GUI mode with JMeter. We have to run the test executions in non-GUI mode. That is one limitation of JMeter or disadvantage of JMeter. Clear, guys? So these are the pros and cons of JMeter. Everyone clear on this till now? And if you want to write some custom coding, right, we have to use Bean Shell and Perl and all this, like for complex scripting. Clear, guys? However, like, most of the scripts can be completed with this record and playback without any custom coding. We can complete 90% of the scripts will be completed without any custom coding. 80 to 90% can be completed. Only 10%, around 10%, we need to write some code. We may need to write some code. Clear, guys?
Yes,
Guys,
sir.
any queries, or can we move to the next slide?
No queries.
What is that?
Have
Okay.
any queries?
Right. Now let's understand the difference between LoadRunner and JMeter. This is for those who completed LoadRunner only, guys, for February batch, guys. Okay. This is only for those who completed LoadRunner, right? So others can ignore that. Ignore this slide. So I listed out some important points in the form of a table here comparing LoadRunner and JMeter. So you know that LoadRunner is a licensed software, whereas JMeter is an open source tool. You are already aware of this previously, isn't it? And LoadRunner has user-friendly UI. We have already seen like how user-friendly the user interface is. Whereas with JMeter, right, it lacks in UI when we are running a test. When we are running a load test, right, we cannot run in GUI mode, right? So which I have explained just now, and you'll see that how to run the test in non-GUI mode, right? We'll see that. For now, remember that we cannot run the JMeter load test in GUI mode. Okay, just understand and remember that. Next difference is LoadRunner supports SAP, Siebel, and almost every protocol, whereas JMeter cannot support SAP, GUI, and Siebel protocols. Clear, guys? JMeter has some limitation. It supports only 10 plus protocols, isn't it? And what are the important protocols that JMeter doesn't support is this SAP, GUI, and Siebel protocol also not supported by JMeter. Okay. And LoadRunner supports almost all protocols, whereas these are the important protocols supported by JMeter. And HP ALM provides performance center. HP ALM provides performance center, right? Guys, we don't have, performance center is called as LoadRunner Enterprise from last year. From previous version of LoadRunner, they are calling that as LoadRunner Enterprise. They are calling performance center as LoadRunner Enterprise. And we don't have a trial version for this. Please remember that. Previously, they used to provide LoadRunner LoadRunner Performance Center trial version. However, they are not providing once it is renamed, last year as LoadRunner Enterprise. From then on, they are not providing trial version. Previously, I used to cover this Performance Center also, but because it is not providing trial version, I could not provide this. I could not cover this LoadRunner Enterprise. Clear, guys? And now with JMeter, right? So we have something called BlazeMeter. Right. So you remember, like just now I mentioned that we cannot run load test with JMeter in GUI mode, right? However, so if you have BlazeMeter license, right, you can execute the test in GUI mode with BlazeMeter. Okay, with BlazeMeter you can execute the JMeter scripts with BlazeMeter in GUI mode. I will cover from this batch. I am going to cover BlazeMeter also. Okay. So in the current project, we are using BlazeMeter. So I am going to cover BlazeMeter also from your batch, starting from your batch. Sounds good?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. So I will make you create a BlazeMeter account, and I will show you how to execute BlazeMeter tests, how to execute this JMeter test with using BlazeMeter. Right. So I'm going to start for the first time from your batch, from this batch. And dedicated support team. LoadRunner has dedicated support team. I explained just now. When do we require this help? So if you have some tool issues or recording issues, right? So you can approach that if you have LoadRunner license, right? You can approach that support team. You can raise a support ticket, and you can take some help from the support team. Whereas as JMeter is an open source, there is no dedicated support team. Clear, guys? See here, you are paying there is some license cost involved, and they will provide some dedicated support team. Any license tool, not only LoadRunner, any license tool will have a dedicated support team. Whereas JMeter is an open source, right? We are not paying, we need not pay anything to anyone, right? So it's a completely open source tool. So obviously you will not have a dedicated support team. Clear, guys?
Yes, sir.
Right? So yes, the reason why I'm covering this is, this topic is, in interviews, they may ask you what are the advantages and disadvantages or limitations of JMeter. These concepts help you to explain that, to answer that question. Okay. Or else there is one more popular interview question. So suppose client asks you to choose the performance testing tool. Client doesn't know anything about performance testing. And if client asks you to choose the performance testing tool, which tool do you choose and why? What is the reason for that? One of the important interview question, right? So you can answer that question if you understand the limitations and pros and cons of each of the tool, at least one license tool and one open source tool. If you understand, right, then you can answer that question. Clear, guys? Yes, please respond.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Now, LoadRunner has some feature called regenerate script. We use that regenerate script feature, yes or no, in LoadRunner?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Right? And we don't have such regenerate script feature like LoadRunner. In JMeter doesn't have any regenerate script feature. Right? So these are some of the important differences between licensed tools like LoadRunner and open source tool like JMeter. Clear, guys? Any licensed tool will have a dedicated support team, whereas JMeter, the open source tools will not have a dedicated support team. Now, what to do if you are stuck up with, if you face some recording issues or if you face some executions issues while executing the test and all, you don't have any dedicated support team here with open source tools, right? So you have to fall back on search engines like Google search or Yahoo search or Bing search, and you have to go through some forums and all this, right? You have some forums, right? So you have some Stack Overflow and you have JMeter forums and all this. So you have to take help from someone or someone who is having experience in JMeter. Understood, guys?
Yes.
Right. And getting started with JMeter on Windows, right? So I think most of all of you are able to download JMeter by this time. Yes? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Now, once you download JMeter, right, from this link, extract the zip file, right? Extract the zip file. So once you download JMeter, right, you will get a zip file, isn't it? Extract that zip file. Can you please share your screen, Supriya? You already downloaded, right? Can you please share your screen? I'm stopping my screen share. So once you download the zip file, right, copy it to some other drive. Copy it to D drive or E drive and extract it there itself. That's better. That is faster. Recording. So once you extract JMeter, right? Once you extract the zip file, right? How to start JMeter is you go to bin folder. Okay. Can you please give me control, Suresh?
Sure.
Yeah. So go to bin folder, right? And you have something called jmeter.bat right here, Windows batch file. Just double click it to start JMeter. Remember, you should be having Java installed on your machine. Otherwise, you will not be able to start the JMeter. Okay. So what is the Java version that you have, Suraj? Did you check that? No? Yeah, it's open, right? That's mean Java, you have Java already installed on your machine. If you don't have Java installed on your machine, you will not get this window. Understood, guys? The JMeter window, you will not get it. And I'm just checking the version, Java version. Okay, it's Java 8 plus, right? Java 8, right? Now, so this is how a JMeter GUI looks like. By default, you will have this dark theme, right? But this is how, once you start JMeter, right, this is how it looks like. Okay. Now, so as soon as I'm stopping your screen share, Priyanka, can you please share now? Okay, you are moving the GIF file.
Yes, sir.
Okay. No, this is not a GIF file. This is extracted one, right?
Yes, sir. ఈ drive లోకి తీసుకున్నాను.
I asked you, Priyanka, are you moving GIF file? You said yes, but this is not a GIF file. This is extracted one. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
It's already an extracted folder, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let me do one thing. Okay. I'm sorry. I'll shortcut whatever I deleted, right? That is just a shortcut. So see, I asked you to okay, this is fine. So you can download that WinRAR file also, TZZ file also, but you can download GIF file. Those who downloaded GIF file and did not extract, can you please share your screen? Fine, guys. Okay, so let me proceed. Okay, wait, Santosh, let me proceed. Okay, so we'll discuss this later. Okay, hold on one second. I'm stopping your screen share because you're losing time, right? So once you extract the GIF file, right? So if you want to start JMeter, use double click that JMeter.bat. So that's what I have shown you just now, isn't it? So this is how we start using JMeter, right? We need not install. We are not actually installing JMeter. Remember this, right? We are not actually installing JMeter. We are running using a batch file. Okay. Now you can have multiple versions of JMeter. That is one advantage with this approach. When you are installing JMeter, see, you remember like with LoadRunner, we have to install LoadRunner on our machine. Yes or no? We have to run the exe file, executable file, and we need to install it, right? And we can have only one version of LoadRunner on our machine. However, with JMeter, we actually don't install JMeter, but we set up JMeter, right? Now observe here, I have JMeter 5.4.3 and I have 5.4.2. See, this is JMeter 5.4, right? This is 5.4.1. So I can run multiple versions of JMeter on my machine at once, right? So at a time, I can use multiple versions of JMeter. See, this is 5.4.3 because we are not actually installing. Understood, guys? So this is 5.4.1. I can run older version also parallelly. See, this is 5.4.3. Now the version that is being started is 5.4.1, right? See, this is 5.4.3 and this is 5.4.1. Understood, guys? So because we are not actually installing JMeter, we are setting up JMeter and starting with a batch file. Understood? Able to understand, guys?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And these are some possible issues. If you get some issue like, like 1 second, tip of the day. If someone faces this issue, let me know. I will fix it. Okay. If you have this, if you get this error message, right, whatever you are seeing in red color, right? So that means you require like you have 32-bit Java. When you have 32-bit Java on your machine, you may get this error, right? So if someone faces this issue, I will look into it. Okay? And now let me explain what are the different ways to launch JMeter. Okay. I'm closing this 5.4.1 to avoid any confusion. I am going to use 5.4.3 only. So this is one way to start JMeter is by double clicking that Windows batch file. Yes or no? Let me go. See, this is actually a shortcut. Okay. I have JMeter 5.4.3 in G Drive Tools Apache JMeter. So one way to launch JMeter is by double clicking this Windows batch file. Clear, guys? Everyone?
Yes.
The other way to launch JMeter is you can use the jar file. There is a jar file called Apache JMeter.jar. This one, Apache JMeter.jar. you can double click the jar file and remember, observe here, this is an executable jar file. See here, this is an executable jar file. Means you can run this jar file, you can execute this jar file. That's what it means, executable jar file means. And now, see, let me close all the JMeter instances and let me show you the second approach. Right, I closed all the JMeter instances. Let me close this LoadRunner also. Right. So this is one way to launch JMeter is by double clicking this batch file. The other way is to double click this Apache JMeter.jar. Is everyone seeing the file extensions like this? The extensions చూస్తున్నారా? .xml, .jmx, .jar, .bat. Are you seeing all the file extensions, guys? JMeter bin lo unna nenu. I am in JMeter bin folder. And are you seeing these extensions? Everyone seeing the extensions or no? Guys, I know some people may not be seeing extensions. File extensions. Everyone able to see the extensions? So if you go to, can you please give me controls? Okay.
Yes.
I asked you to go to bin folder. Okay. Why are you in lib folder? Wait, please wait. I asked you to go to bin folder. Yes or no?
Yes.
This is Windows batch file, right? But you are not seeing the extension .bat any extension kanpinchatledu, right?
Yes.
For that, what you have to do is go to view and select this file name extensions. Now you can see there's a text.
Okay.
.bat and all this, right? I already explained this in web tools appudu. I already explained this. If you are not seeing file extensions, you have to select this file name extension and cheptanu. I already explained this. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And what is this one? Is Java installation not yet completed?
It is once if I opening the system is shut downing, sir. So because of that, I may lose a session. So I have not done that one completely.
Can you open a command prompt and open a command prompt once, please? Okay. Java space hyphen version. You have to give space after Java. And you need not type it again. You already typed it, right? And at the top, right? Just backspace, do backspace. Type up arrow on your keyboard. Up arrow. No.
Okay.
Use up arrow on your keyboard. Right. So, and now insert a space. Go to that after Java. Java tarvata, No, you can't go like that. Cursor blink avutundi kada, so you have to use left arrow on your keyboard. Yes, space, give a space there, right? You need not type again everything. Okay, now enter, click enter now. Right, so you don't have Java installed on your machine.
Yes.
Right, so this is the actual command, Java space hyphen version. You can close this command prompt now. And what is the issue that you are facing to install JMeter? Java?
Nothing, sir. Once if I thought that it will be shut down my system because I may lose a session. Because of that reason, I have not completely done that.
No, it won't shut down the session. Why? Click install.
Sir, in my system there is no D drive. Can I copy the?
Yeah, those who don't have any.
drive,
Yeah.
drive.
Yes. If anyone doesn't have any other drives, right? You have to do everything in C drive only. You can do it in C drive itself.
Downloads lo unnakudu ante kada.
Yeah, you can run it from downloads folder itself. Yes. Right. Now Java is installed, right? Now open a new command prompt. Close it. Click close button there. Right. So now open a new command prompt. You should open a, okay. Try there. Up arrow. Use up arrow again. Up arrow on your keyboard. Yes. Enter. Right now it is showing the version, right?
Yes, sir.
You can close this now. Close this command prompt now. Right. Now double click that batch file in jmeter.bat. Okay. Now go to that, hold on. So click on that, JMeter. Yeah. Now this is how JMeter GUI looks like, right? So this is one way to start JMeter. Now I am closing it for time being, right? And observe here, like both that, see, once you launch JMeter using batch file, right? You will get this, this command prompt like window and JMeter GUI. Understood? You will get both these windows.
Okay.
You can stop JMeter by closing this by clicking into mark here, or else you can stop JMeter by closing this one also. Even if you close this one also, right? JMeter will be closed. Understood? Now the other way to launch JMeter is by using this jar file, Apache JMeter.jar. You can double click that jar file. Oh, I'm sorry. This is not an executable jar file. Why it is not? You should see that as an executable jar file. Apache JMeter.jar. Why I'm not seeing this executable jar file? 1 second. It is closing somehow. Okay, I didn't see this issue anytime before. Okay, we'll see. We'll look into it later. Okay, it should be an executable jar file actually. I don't know what what mistake you have done, or I don't know what is the issue. Right, we'll look into that later. But this is one way to launch JMeter. Let me share my screen and show that. You see here, right, on my machine in bin folder, if you see, locate that Apache JMeter.jar, right? So this one, see, you see that you should see that as an executable jar file, right? Now the other way to launch JMeter is, let me go to the slide, right? We can use this Apache JMeter.jar to launch JMeter. How to do that is just double click on that executable jar file. And now you can see JMeter was launched. Now, when you launch this JMeter with jar file, right, you don't get that command prompt like window. Did you observe that?
Yes.
This is normal command prompt. Okay. So when we launch JMeter with the batch file, right, we get some window, isn't it? One command prompt like window. Yes or no? This one.
Yes, sir.
Right? You won't get that when you launch JMeter by see this window. You won't get that when you launch JMeter by using this, batch file. Sorry, this jar file. Apache JMeter.jar. When you use this executable jar file, you will not get that command prompt like window. Understood? You will get only JMeter GUI. Understood now what is JMeter GUI and what is command prompt window? JMeter command prompt.
Yes, sir.
Right? The other ways to launch JMeter is like command prompt. You can directly, launch it from command prompt or custom batch files. I will explain this first. Now this is out of scope, not required for you. But let me show you how to open JMeter from command prompt. Okay, I'm closing this JMeter instance. Go to JMeter bin folder, right? Open a command prompt here, right? And observe here, I am at this path now. See, I selected this path in the Windows Explorer. This is Windows Explorer or File Explorer. Type CMD here to open a command prompt. Now that means you are in command prompt, you are at this path now. See, G tools, Apache JMeter 5.4.3 bin. Now what you can do is if you want to launch JMeter from here, you can use type JMeter.bat here. Now you can see JMeter is launched, right? JMeter GUI is launched. And by default, you will have dark theme, by the way, right? But you are seeing a different theme here on my machine. How to change that is you go to options, right? Look and feel and select, you have different themes here. You can select any of these look and feel. Okay. And observe here on my machine, Windows theme is selected. And by default, this is the default theme, dark left, dark Kula. That is the default theme. Okay. So let me show that. Okay. See, this is how you are seeing, right? By default, you will see in this dark theme. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
And this is look and feel. Here, JMeter calls that as look and feel. Understood? LAF. L and F or LAF. LAF, it calls that as LAF. If you want to change the theme, right, to Windows or any other light color themes, you can select Windows or Windows Classic. Observe here, changing LAF requires a restart. LAF means
Look and feel.
look and feel. LAF stands for look and feel. So if you want to change the look and feel, right, it requires a restart to work correctly. Click S to exit JMeter. Click S button. Then it will be restarted and you will see the new theme being applied. Understood? And if you see what is the theme currently selected, you go to a look and feel and see here, you see a dot next to that Windows Classic. Yes or no?
Yes.
That means currently it is using Windows Classic theme or Windows Classic look and feel. Theme anna look and feel anna same here. JMeter is calling that as look and feel. Understood, guys?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So we have different look and feels. How many we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Right? You have approximately 12 look and feels. Okay. Of course, you need not remember the count. Okay. So, but you can switch to whatever theme you are comfortable with or whatever theme looks good for you. Fine. This is metal. This look and feel is called as look and feel, metal look and feel. Clear, guys? And one more thing I want to explain is, observe here, there will be something called, so JMeter supports, different languages. Observe here. So currently it is displaying, or currently it is in showing English as a language. You can switch to any of these languages. Okay. So see, someone who is in China or someone who is German, right? If they want to use their local language, right? They can go to this choose language. Let's say, someone is in Germany. A German user wants to use their local language, Germany's language. So they can go here, choose language and select German language. Right? And now observe here, these are German words, right? DAT, DATEI, right? Now you see some options in different language. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Right? So suppose you want to search, you want to switch back to English, go to options, right? And language. Where is that language? This one. You select English or here. Now it switched to English. Clear? You see all the words, all the options in English language, right? So this is about switching the language. Clear, guys? And JMeter supports all these languages. Okay.
LoadRunner leda ala.
Yeah. LoadRunner, we don't have, I don't think we have that option. I didn't try that, of course, before. Yeah, so it doesn't. I don't think like LoadRunner has such an option to change the language. Okay. So these are the different ways to launch JMeter, guys. So you can, but mostly we use this by double clicking the batch file only, we start that. However, there are few other ways to launch JMeter. By using jar file, by using command prompt, or by using custom batch files. Custom batch file means we need to write a batch file code. Windows batch file, we need to write some code and create our own custom batch files. So this is one more way to launch JMeter. Okay. These are the different ways to launch JMeter. I'll stop it here, guys, for today. Yeah. So if anyone is anyone using MacBook Pro? MacBook Air or MacBook Pro? Anyone using Mac
I'm
OS?
using Pawan. I'm using. Yeah.
Hari.
I have MacBook 8, sir.
Okay. So if you are using MacBook, right, so you can open a terminal and use this command to download and install JMeter. No, set up JMeter, not install. So if you want to use JMeter, set up JMeter, right, open a terminal. Can you please share your screen? or you already have JMeter on your machine?
I have installed, just I followed your instructions and checked with the Mac installation. I have done with that.
Okay. So these are the commands to set up JMeter on your machine. Just use brew install JMeter. What is this brew is? Homebrew is a package that simplifies software installation on Mac. So that is what this brew, in Homebrew, right? So this brew command stands for, like, it is a package that simplifies software installation on Mac. And to install setup JMeter, this is the command. To upgrade JMeter, this is the command brew update JMeter, right? And to start JMeter, this is the command to start JMeter, user local bin JMeter, right? And to command to install JMeter with plugins is this one, brew install JMeter with plugins. Okay, it will install the standard plugins, all the standard plugins, if you use this command. Clear? So this is though for those who are using Mac OS. Clear, guys? I stop it here, guys, for today. So we'll start JMeter tomorrow. Yes,
Pawan sir, you